This is my immediate reaction to Reece the Bomber Bellotti defending his British and Commonwealth title tonight. So, number one, I'm absolutely buzzing for Reece, and not just because he's from Watford, the same as me, and I was in the same school year as his younger brother, but because Reece was signed to Matchroom years ago and was seen as a hot prospect and started to rise up the ranks and then had a couple of devastating losses back to back. And it just completely derailed everything. And he went from being on the undercards of big fights and people caring about him to having to rebuild on fights at the Indigo O2 in front of barely anyone. And there was definitely a period of time where it looked like the Reece Bellotti story was coming to an end. But I think it's an amazing tale that Reece, with his trainer Jimmy Mack, got themselves back in the gym, went back to the drawing board, and were happy enough to rebuild. And they're now at a point where they've got multiple fights in the bag, just wins in a row, where Reece has looked great. And in his early days, it was always a case of Reece being fitter than everyone, more aggressive than everyone, and sticking it on him. But recently, we've seen Reece boxing and outsmarting his opponents. And there's a real argument to suggest that him having the physical attributes that he has, i.e. his fitness, him having the mental fortitude that he has that makes him relentless and gives him that steel to keep going again and again and again and again. But now, in conjunction with this boxing IQ and skill set that's allowing him to pick people apart. Like, I don't want to go too far here, but I don't know where his ceiling is right now. Like, he's clearly no longer a British level fighter. So I know he's going to be looking at that European at the moment, and I think Reece can win a European in the next 12 months. And then you're asking yourself, is the dream still alive? Can Reece Bellotti be a world champion? And don't get me wrong, he's not going to be the most glamorous world champion going. I mean, hold on, I just want to have a look at who the world champions are in Reece's weight class, because so he's super featherweight world champion. I'm really hoping that it's not Inoue. Because if it's Inoue, then that's going to be problematic. Or Bam Rodriguez. We don't want either of those two. Okay, so the super featherweight world champions are Lamont Roach Jr., Oshaki Foster, Anthony Kakachi, and Emmanuel Navarrete. Now, the question is, can Reece mix it with these guys? And I think the answer is yes. Like, Reece versus any of those four is going to be an underdog, don't get me wrong, but I think Reece Bellotti could give Anthony Kakachi a real run for his money. There's no reason why he couldn't beat him. He could do that. Oshaki Foster's going to be very difficult. Lamont Roach is obviously going to be very difficult as well, but, you know, Lamont's not exactly a proven superstar either. And then you've got Emmanuel Navarrete, who I think Navarrete is absolutely brilliant in how unorthodox he is. But, again, he's not unbeatable because he can be tagged. And Reece may set a pace against a Navarrete that a Navarrete's never encountered before. And Navarrete is very systemic in the way that he fights, and he kind of does the same things over and over again. Now, the reality is everybody knows what he's going to do, but no one can stop him, right? So from that perspective, you're looking at it and you're thinking, well, how on earth is Reece going to be able to do it? And I know I'm dreaming a little bit here, and I know I'm looking into the future, but my point is, what a story. And how beautiful would it be if Reece did manage to win a world title and he becomes an ambassador for the sport as just a working local man who's not flashy, who's a father, who's a family man, who just dedicated himself to the grind, had an opportunity, lost badly multiple times and had to rebuild and still got to the mountaintop. I just think for the whole world and for all of the kids who look up to sportsmen and athletes as role models, that's a brilliant story. So that's what I'm rooting for. So Reece Bellotti, congratulations, mate. Brilliant fight tonight. You know, Gomez Jr. retiring on his stool because you were just outboxing him. And Gomez Jr. is no mug. And definitely not a melt. He was game as anything. But Reece, you had too much, and that's brilliant. So congratulations, mate, and you keep pushing forwards. Get that European belt and go take on them big boys and go get that world title, because your story deserves it. Peace. Guys, let me know what you think. How far do you think Reece Bellotti can go? Do you think he's at his peak right now with regards to being a British and Commonwealth champion? Do you think he can win a European? How do you think he gets on if he steps up against any of the world title holders at super featherweight? Let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll be doing a proper breakdown of the Reece Bellotti fight in a couple of days. But for now, this was my immediate reaction. Thank you. Peace.